today with our ambassador, Rodrigo Pérez. The European Climate Pact is an initiative from the European Commission which is driving citizen engagement for climate action. Our goal is to achieve climate neutrality by 2050 and to reduce 55% of climate emissions by 2030. For that, we need many hands and brains, and that's why we try to engage with people and with the citizens to make them take action for climate now. With that said, I would like to hand over to Rodrigo, who will be the ambassador hosting this today.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm very pleased to introduce today the three speakers that will delve into the different importance from the different angles of the importance of the different systems that we're gonna present. I would like to start referring to Thoreau and how his mentor, Ralph Waldo Emerson, went into the woods of Walden to live deliberately and learn the essential facts of life. And I consider that going into the nature, going into the forest, is something that will make us a better society. And for that, we have three speakers today. I will start with Jennifer Schulz, Dr. Jennifer Schulz from the University of Potsdam, with very interesting projects about agroforestry. Ivana Tkalčić, I cannot pronounce it properly, but I hope it's not too bad, that as a member of the Boys EU project consortia was using his artistic research and his artistic practice to link together soil and nature, and as well as the society, as the community. And last but not least, Elia Spehar, that together with me has been trying to make a dream a reality in the forest of Potsdam, and he will explain a little bit more about what are we actually going to do on the 14th of March. Please, Jennifer, go ahead.
So, shall I start my screen? Okay, hello everybody. Thank you, Rodrigo. Thank you for the invitation. I'm very happy to be here and to try to share my screen. Okay, can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Okay, wonderful. So I will start. I will present some experiences and some insights from our project, our current project at the University of Potsdam, which is called Urban Food Forests. And I work together with some practice partners on the development and on the research of forest gardens or food forests in cities. So I give you a little bit of a rationale. What is a forest garden or what is a food forest? So basically, it's a garden that is consisting of several layers of vegetation, which are mainly edible plants, which are arranged in a multi-layered vegetation system, which is very similar to the structure of a forest. So there we combine fruits and nuts and shrubs for the production of berries and teas, as well as vegetables and herbs. And we combine them in a way so that we can harvest them. So it's a designed system, a designed forest garden that is a productive system in the end. So we need to think of how we can also harvest it. Important for us is that we have an image, a guiding image, and forests are for me the structural pattern for a forest garden. So we have to understand what are the main basic pattern that we are imitating, and we're looking at, for example, in temperate Europe and to the deciduous local forest. And all of the forests in the world have main two characteristics. They are very diverse plant systems, and they are very dominated by perennial plants that consist are maybe woody plants basically. The imitation of the structure means we are using several layers of vegetation, so trees, shrubs, and a herbaceous layer, and we use species that are complementary or that are very different in terms of their growth architecture. When we design the forest gardens, we try to design them with ecological principles, so trying to use local natural resources in an optimal way. So all the planning goes around a use of solar energy, water, soil, and nutrients that guide our ideas of how we design a self-sufficient system. So the key characteristics of a forest garden or a food forest, it's a complex agroforestry system, which is a multi-strata agroforestry system, which consists of a very high diversity of plant species. So we assemble about 100 to 200 species in 3 to 7 strata. Mostly the plants are edible plants or have edible components. And we combine endemic species together with exotic species, looking for not using invasive species, but trying to expand a little bit the climatic envelope that we're using. For example, here in Berlin, we're using also Mediterranean plants that are here since a long time, like mulberries or other plants that are drought resistant, for example. The goal is to design a multifunctional food producing system, and we try to grab the potential to restore or deliver ecosystem functions of forest with this food producing system. If we think of urban areas, we have to think of land use categories where this could be suitable. And basically, we found out that public green spaces or of types of urban agriculture zoning can be used for forest gardens. So what are the challenges to which forest gardens can potentially provide effects, positive effects? If we think of cities, they are very dense. The built-up areas increase in cities and the pressures on urban green spaces increase. But here we have to deliver a lot of ecological as well as social functions. So in the end, we need to adapt to climate extremes. Climate regulation is basically taking part in green spaces. These are the places to protect and conserve biodiversity. And here's the most important soil functions which have to be protected. At the same time, the citizens, as you know, are demanding for urban gardening to participation in green spaces. And we need areas for environmental education where environmental awareness is being created and where nature experience can be carried out. In the end, another very important issue in the recent years, increasingly recognized, is the need for urban agriculture or the sustainable production of local food. And here the forest garden is something like an ecologically intensified system as a multi-layered production system. So we think that forest gardens can provide multifunctional solutions to urban challenges, addressing all of these challenges that have to be provided by green spaces at the same time. The rationale for bringing forest gardens to the cities is that more and more citizens have been demanding the contribution or the participation in green spaces management, and they're looking for rather long-term gardening in contrast to a lot of urban community gardens that are just cultivating in boxes or they have temporary uses. We want to establish permanent forest-like edible vegetation structures, and with this provide long-term social as well as ecological synergies. The requirements and the challenges basically are that we need long-term planning security. So if we think of a forest, we think of decades of development. So we need contracts that really help us get the land in the city, which is hard to get. But we need to find ways of making the forest gardens last for decades. And if this is public land, most of the time the officials or the official green spaces departments, they want to have a guarantee of operational structures. So who are the people taking care of those gardens? How will the organization work? So these are the main challenges for the development of forest gardens in cities. So I will give you some introduction about the project Urbane Waldgärten or Urban Forest Gardens. I started this project in 2018 with the funding from the Federal Agency of Nature Protection in Germany with a sort of feasibility study which aimed at finding out whether forest gardens can be a green spaces solution for many cities in Germany, and to see whether those are what are the transferable conditions for forest gardens for cities, and to see what are suitable sites, what are the legal aspects to take them into place, what are the partnerships, and also we developed a lot of participation